Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome. It's Roller Weiner Monday. A little late today, and I apologize. I take my own demerits as I give them. They're installing some kind of new electronic lock here where I live, and the guy was late, and it was just a total disaster with internet. Look, I'm here. I had a duplicate key stream, whatever that means, to figure out. Yikes. Technology. Boy, you young people really know your technology. It takes a while for people in their extreme upper 30s to get it. I am back, though, finally, right? It is Roller Weiner Monday. Yikes. Sorry about that. The new hours of service are out. Has your ELD updated for it? Mine hasn't. Geotab, hey, could we get some updates? Thank you. 10-4 was on a national mall. Volkswagen's going to buy Navistar? Yikes. Do you want a Volkswagen that Navistar around? Wow. Jim Mullen, remember him, the head of the FMCSA? Oh, I'm going to need to spend time with my family or whatever. Yeah, Too Simple. He's going to go be the legal counsel and a risk person at Too Simple. That is an autonomous company who I love the CEO's quote of that, driving kind of takes the humanity out of people. So I think that's pretty interesting. He's going to go over there. Some stocks and other Weiner related items are going on today as we finally get going. Yikes. There's that. And I am finally here. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it. And so I had Eddie first today. Misty, hello there. It is good to see you. George Wilson is here today. And let's see, what am I doing? Oh, right. Here we go. Ruth, hello there. What's going on? Oh, Gracie. She's in the back watching the birds. They're eating up the food, I guess, because it's getting colder. We had a frost warning. Hello, Christina. What's happening? Let's see here. Where am I? Eric, hi. What's going on? Flip-flop fool. Love it. I love it. I love it. Matt Hatter's here. That's going on. Trucker Hershey, what's going on? You were at the receiver and had 22 minutes. Love it. 12 minutes away, but there's traffic. Could have run it. There at PC. Had to take my 34 anyway. Yeah. Could have run it all the way then there on PC. Yeah, you should have just kind of run those few minutes out at the receiver. Then you could have run PC all the way back, right? That would have all the way to the place, as long as your company will allow it. Oh, the only thing that you need to do is not make it exempt. Right, I'm trying to get my permit test, Christina. You'll be back. All right. I don't want to take it from me. Yeah, that'd be great. I would love to do that. George Costanza's here from Virginia. We always remember that Virginia's for lovers. Yeah, it's always a disaster up there, really. Paul Harris, hello there. Caleb, what's going on? Luke, 1, 2, 3, 4, get off the John. Yeah, I wish that was that simple. I could just do it from there. It's Taco Tuesday. Hey, Taco Tuesday is also Taco Monday here. Question of the day, is hazmat worth it? For what I've seen, you don't get paid much. It depends on the company. Some companies pay you per load. I think Martin does that, among other places. For every load, you get something. And then some places pay per mile your whole year, whether you take hazmat or not. Now, if you don't get paid for it, no, then it's absolutely not worth it. If they're not paying you anything, then no. I mean, it's a big disaster. But, yeah, if you get paid 2 cents a mile is a couple of grand a year. Not bad. So, Paul Harris, right, I paid you $200 a week for hazmat. There you go. That's not bad. That's a lot of them. That's $10,000 a year. Wow. Chris, put down your wiener and start the show. Yeah. That would have been simpler. Morning from Sparks, Nevada. Kelly, wow. The biggest little city in the world. No, that's Reno, right? Sparks is the other biggest little city. What do they call Sparks? I don't remember what it was called. Nittany, I wonder if there are companies hiring if you've been out of truck for a year. Yeah, you can get hired. You can. Some are hire you better than others, but they say, look, you've been out, so yes, you can get a job, though. There's been a bunch of places commenting about, oh, we need drivers so bad or whatever. Did the overlords take me? No, I'm getting a better lock so they don't get in, right. His cats locked him in the bathroom. That'd be something. No, because they wouldn't do that because they couldn't get fed. Should we start charging for detention? Yes. For that, the technology is just, and people should do what they say. Okay. It depends where you are. Some companies only paying you for extra per load, some paying extra on all loads. Well, even if you get paid per load, then every time you're using the hazmat, you're getting paid. So that's not a bad deal. Some companies don't pay you anything, and then no way. And some are per mile your whole year, which is even better, I think. If you got 2 to 4 cents a mile for the whole year just for having a hazmat, not bad. We need to get paid for all our waiting time. Yes, exactly. For me to start the stream. Yeah, until everybody's paid, I'm not doing the stream anymore. We're back to one almost, right? Almost this week. Yikes. I started a second channel about trucking with diabetes called Truck Diabetes. Cash is King Trucking. All right. Truck diabetes. All right. That a lot of drivers have that problem, so that'd be pretty interesting. Maybe people should go check that out. That's pretty good. Are you one of those? I think you have said that you're one of those drivers. George Costanza, I can't say no on the hazmat. The fines are steep, and I would not want my CDL revoked. Yeah, that's true. Most places that haul hazmat, though, companies have a team, like a number you can call or whatever. You know, they have their own hazmat team in there. Although, yikes, who knows if they know what they're doing. ProGen, keep this country moving. We're moving it. Ansel and Penelope Rain Blossom Smith. Hello there. What's going on? Where did I go? I lost my little spot here. Hey, Grafton. That's a Slumpy Wiener in the intro. Yikes. Yeah, that's a sloppy wiener, right. Baton Rouge, 81, LA 81 and sunny. Up here, we had a frost warning. Can you believe it? Alex, the OTR driver. Omnitrix was updated the day of. Yeah, as of last week, not updated. We'll see what happens today when I go in. Will Geotab be updated? That's the big question. I check it. I'm like, wait a minute. This thing is not counting down my time right. So, hey, Geotab, let's get the program over there. Hey, Mark, you got a flu shot and got sick for 5 days. Sound familiar? Yeah, except I was sick for like a month. So, yes. And I did look up on here. A number of people suggested, well, it's because you're a pasty redhead. So, which I like, all right, I kind of am. So I looked it up. Yeah, it turns out, yeah, pasty redheads do have more problems with those shots. Yeah. Supernova's getting loaded with pipe in Iowa. Wonder where that goes off to. Cash is King Trucking, a Volkswagen ProStar. Wow, that's what we need. Volkswagen to increase the... would that increase Navistar in some way? Yikes. I mean, holy moly. Have you sat in a Volkswagen? The seats are what you would say firm. I like the new hours of service, easier to manage. My day had to log it out for updates. Well, you know, I'm out on the weekends on it, so it certainly should be updated by today. And I'm out at night on it, you know, every day, so it should have updated. It should have updated. A Scottish trucker, Tommy, checking in for some education. Yeah, to give it to me. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Oh, Osbaldo Gervasio. Am I close? Hello, what's going on? Jerry, good morning from Alabama. Time to eat chicken and watermelon. All right. Yeah, I know. I've been seeing the buses in southern Indiana picking them all up, so I know it's watermelon time. Trucker Hershey, who do I work for? Well, that's an interesting question that I don't get very often. So for new people, right, I try to keep the company out of the video, so I don't mention who I work for. Then they don't get to tell you what to say. And also, I don't recruit for them. There's a lot of drivers recruiting for their company. Do you know some of them get paid more for recruiting than they get paid to drive because they get so many drivers on? True story. I don't recruit for them. I don't even run ads on this live show. Alex, the over-the-road driver, been liking the new hours of service. Really, has anybody used the split sleeper? That was the biggest deal about it. And is everybody going on duty for their break? Fireball California says no rollers. Thank you, PC. All right. PC Clark. Glad you delayed the start of the show. I just hit the dock at Costco. Didn't want to miss anything. Cash is King Trucking. Well, I appreciate that. How long will you be at Costco? Not like the other day where you were at a dock for 20 hours or something. What were you talking about? 20 hours you were at the dock? Holy moly. Soapy Shoe. Why do I make more an hour delivering pizza than driving a truck? Because you're getting paid for your time better delivering pizza, maybe. I don't know if you really get paid more an hour than you do driving a truck, though, honestly. It depends how you figure hours. I mean, if you're over the road and you figure 168 hours in 7 days, you might. But you don't deliver pizzas for 168 hours either. I always say there was that guy that did Uber Eats. He did a video about it, which you can watch. It got a lot of views. He did Uber Eats for 30 days. 30 days straight. He did go straight 30 days. He made over $8,000, and he shows every day on the video how much he made, shows you the app. And and this is in Salem, Oregon. It's not like he's in the middle of a big city. Not bad. He netted over $7,000 to himself, just driving around in his car, delivering food to people. Interesting. The Real Big John Trucking. I got hired here at Colonial after being home 8 months. All right. Yeah, you're not out a year, and so you should still be good on that. How's it going over there at Colonial? If Volkswagen takes over Navistar, they will claim that the new ProStar gets 22 miles a gallon. Yeah, they go, as long as you don't test it anywhere. Volkswagen, they're going to put that 2-liter diesel in it. Let's see where they go off to Soapy Shoots because of the company. I don't know. Am I late or are we both late? I'm late. Imperials NYC. I'm late today. I apologize. Hello from Del Rio, Texas. Mario. All right. Precision Logistics is in Pennsylvania. Hello. Osbaldo, I drive for Swift. What do you think about that? And if it's not great, why are you there still? I mean, really, right now, companies can't wait to get people, it looks like. Kangaroo Trucker, hello, Mark. Heading to Minnesota, wearing the new coat for the first time. Oh, very good. That's the game I play every year, is when will Mark first wear a jacket outside, so... You get one ticket pulling hazmat, better hope the 2 cents will pay over time. Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, you got to be on your toes hauling hazmat, but if you're going to haul it, know what you're doing. You haul Swift for Target. How is it there? What do you think? Swift for Target? I mean, most people that go to a large carrier, that would certainly be considered a large carrier, do pretty good on a dedicated account like that. Dope Law, how have you prepared yourself and your family for retirement? Crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. That's what I say. Just hope for the best. I have designed several signs that I'll use to stand on street corners. Former driver in need of money. Joe Ritchie. Happy Monday from Great Plains Transport, home of the salary driver and free groceries for all new hires. That's right, Great Plains Transport. Free groceries for new hires. How about they get you started by feeding your face and your wallet? Salary, bonuses, and groceries. Great Plains Transport. Good to see you today. All right. So there you go. Covenant pays 40 cents for non-hazmat and 50 cents for hazmat. They give you a dime for hazmat? That's pretty good. 40 is really low. I mean, you're going to do a van load for 40 cents? Yikes. Soapy Shoe. Is there an easy way to find out an accident from the past will show up on my MVR? Yeah, just pull your MVR. In Indiana, it's free. And I can do it online. Each state's a little different. Call your state, and see how you do it. It should be on the website. Indiana, you can pull it anytime you want, and it doesn't cost anything. Some states do charge you a nominal fee. So, just pull it. Hey, everybody. Not able, Fleet Nav Systems, not able to be here. Where did we go off to? Let's see. Well, I lost you. Oh, for very long, but checking in for 10 minutes. All right, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Fleet Nav Systems, right? Home of Geotab. My Geotab's still not updated, by the way, as I said earlier. So hopefully today we'll get the new Geotab update. That'll be pretty awesome. Can't wait for it. So I can run the new rules. Mr. Crouch, the free agent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Your knowledge and information have been beneficial. Oh, thank you. Will I be in violation of my regular time, says I'm out of hours? But the will pair says I have time to drive. What is the will pair? The will pair. Is that like an au pair? I'm out of hours, but the will pair says I have time to drive. My regular time. You're only in violation if you're beyond the hours of service. So let's put it that way. As long as you're not over on your hours of service, you're okay. So I don't know what the will pair is. You have to put that in here when I get to that. Geotab Fleet Nav System. Geotab updated the 29th, and it should work fine. We put out to clarify some stuff. Yeah, I'm sure that, I honestly think they did, but right here, have not been updated yet. So pretty interesting. It could be my administrator at my place, right? So that's what I think. Hey, what's going on, GP Transco? Let's see where we off to. GP Transco, they need some drivers too. How about that? Got a year experience? Give GP Transco a call. Well, there we go. And let's see if I can click here. Hey, Mark, for the new Tesla truck as a driver sitting in the center, I've seen that. Do you think they'll be hard to back? I think you'll get used to it. I think with all the cameras and stuff they're putting on it, and Mike, I think that we'll get used to it. Just like anything else. You get a new car, whatever, all the buttons are different, but then you get used to it right away. I think we'll get used to it. And I think it'll be better. Just be right in the middle of everything. GP Transco, 17 drivers, a current record. Wow. I saw a deep blue Cascadia for GP Transco last week too, and I'm like, wow, this is really nice. And I wondered, is that an owner-operator? Do you have Cascadias that are like really dark blue? Interesting. It looked really good. They had one of the new trailers too with the new paint on it. Liked it. It's going on 70, going eastbound towards Indianapolis from the west side of Indy. George Costanza, I've been on keto for 3 months and dropped 45 pounds. 15 pounds a month, that's great. 235, 6 feet. Yeah, dropping weight, feel great, right? I lost, years ago, I lost about 100 pounds at one point. So not all at once, but it took a while, but I felt good after that. Felt pretty good. Of course, that's all. Those days are over. Yes, Ski Trucking, thank you, goodness. Hours of service, what are those? Can't even remember what a logbook looks like. That's true. You are like in the sweet spot of where you can kind of set your own rules, kind of, meaning you don't have a company telling you can't do this. And then you get to run all these hours because you have exempt for like years and years now. It's been exempt. So that's why cash really is king over there at your place. And I think that's great. Use it to your advantage for sure. And you are. Marcus is an undercover DOT officer. I don't know about that. Went on duty for lunch break. Oh, okay. You split sleeper 3/7. That's good. Omnitrax gives you ability to estimate your 14-hour clock. Good. So some people are using it. Joe Ritchie, I used to recruit from the truck when I drove for Interstate Distributor. Paid $1,000 a hire. Right. I'd make it if you really think the company is good, but you shouldn't bring people in if you don't think it's a good place. Really, you shouldn't work there, but certainly if you don't think they're going to have a great experience, don't bring people in just to pay money. That's no way to make money. Flip-flop fools never gotten a flu shot, never had the flu. Just practice good hygiene. Yeah, I won't be getting another flu shot after last year. You split sleeper a few times already, Alex. I've been using the new 30-minute rule, especially the fuel pump. It's good. I think it'll get people moved out of the pumps a lot better. Cash King Trucking, just 25 hours in the dock at the ship run this load. That was crazy. I mean, a day in the dock? That could be like a day in the life of a dock. You have to eat out of a vending machine for a day. Was the broker able to get you some money for that? Trucker Hershey used the new 30-minute break rule, 16 minutes for fuel, 8 minutes to fuel, 8 minutes to go inside, 8-hour reset, started driving, tablet locked up and drove 3 hours and never changed, had to reboot. Great. All you trying to do everything legal, and then the tablet fouls you up. Is JB Hunt a good company these days? Soapy Shoe, any red flags? Well, it's one of these large companies. I get a lot of complaints from people. It's back and forth on that, on their containers. Some people love running the containers for them, and then some people are like, this is no good at all. We can't do this. They've done 2 updates since then. That's great. Finally, Imperial NYC. Well, goodness, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And thanks for coming in. Also, as always, it being a part of the show. Where did I go off to here? Oh, let's see here. They almost cut another live stream of yours, Fleet Nav Systems. Yeah, turn it on anytime. Basically, he's on live most of the time. Newer worlds work in my favor. Few of my runs required 30-minute break, 10 minutes from shop since it starts at driving. And had to take it. Yeah, not bad. I'm glad everybody likes them. I hope they'll update so that I can actually see how they work. GP Transco is going to steal the grocery idea. Yeah, they fill you up with groceries to get started. I think that's a really good idea. Some people come in kind of on their last legs, like, geez, I really need a place and I don't have money to eat for, until I get my first paycheck. To get you started out with some groceries, that's a really good idea. Very innovative, really. Sitting on the shoulder of the freeway because Matheson Trigus truck is broke down for the 6th time. Good thing I get hourly pay. Oh, yeah, then no problem. You just put out your triangles and read a book. Joe Ritchie, what a nice present, the slide. Thank you. Yeah, I made that up a little bit ago. I thought I'm going to make a slide. I think that's a good idea. Thanks for that. Sid, growing up, there was no bed frame, just a mattress on the floor of a 1-bedroom condo. Yikes. My question is, why do most, if not all, truckers dump a week's worth of trash on the exit ramps? Sauerkraut. Well, it's not most drivers, certainly. And it's horrible. I don't know why people do this at the fuel line. Why do I walk down the fuel line, there's a bag of trash right next to a garbage bag or right next to a trash can? Come on. I mean, do people live like this? They must, because you're not any different, like that. The way you are when nobody's watching you is really, how you are in real life. Fleet Nav, does your company use an MDM? I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why it wouldn't have updated. Updates went through same day. I don't have any idea what that is, so no idea. Will Pair SB. John Douglas. Will Pair. Is the pair of sleeper birds like split sleeper? Not sure. Will Pair on Omnitrack shows you have hours just Kanye. Okay, sure, to go and sleep for 7-8 hours to complete the split. Oh, no. Oh, Will Pair. Oh, I didn't know that. See, mine isn't updated. So I didn't know what that is. Right. Mr. Crouch, the free agent. Isn't a mini box on the status screen that says Will Pair Sleeper? You can click it. Oh, nice. Well, see, I haven't had an update yet, so I didn't know that. And I don't have Omnitrax. We had Geotab. No wonder Mark has never seen a teal truck. He's colorblind. That could have been a teal truck. It was just dark gray. It was like a really deep royal blue Cascadia. It was like a regular Cascadia, but I thought, what is it so deep blue? Okay, the GP Plum trucks were a batch of 5 that we ordered to try out and decided to go with teal. All right, well, I saw one. I saw one. So there's one of 5. You have hundreds of trucks. 5 of them are this deep blue, and that's the truck I see? Okay, got it. Unlike that's not planned by GP Transco. All right. Pamela, I finally made alive. Grew up in Indy, moved to Oklahoma 6 years ago. Okay, Oklahoma, okay. And my kids want me back home. I have my hazmat tanker in 2 years. Any companies looking good back there? Yeah, I still love Transforce in Indianapolis if you're coming back there. They're still running at $27 an hour, overtime past 40, home every day, no touch. I mean, I don't know. 60 hours is $1,900. That's not bad to be home every day. Indianapolis, that's on Craigslist. Call them. See what they say about it. I haven't called them. See what they say about it. What if that's true? Yeah. Trucking pay has always been a problem. Give me a moment. I will illustrate. George Wilson. All right. Love watching Cash is King, good, honest broadcasts. Absolutely. I mean, when people ask me owner-operator questions, that's where I send them, right there. That's the real numbers and everything. That's how you can really do it as an owner-operator. That's not bound to some $5 contract with some lease where they lease the truck from a carrier. It's the way to really make money. Red Monkey Trucking is here. It's good to see you. Truck Hershey, speaking of, and I disappeared. Okay. Sorry I didn't cross paths near Evansville 2 weeks ago. Shipper kept me 2 hours. So, actually, that would have worked better. By the time I was going through Terre Haute, I thought, I bet I was actually thinking about that. He's probably already gone north. 2 hours later would have been better. Yeah. Fleet Nav System was here. They're heading out. It's good to see you. Hope everything's going over there good with your meetings. My safety manager says it has to be at 7 hours, not 7 hours and 1 minute. Morning to sleeper, is that true? No. Now, your company, Mr. Crouch, the free agent, and the FMCSA actually talked about this in some of their guidance. Your company can limit you like that. They can, because they're still not breaking the law, but it can be 7 hours and 1 minute. Here's the thing, the short time, and I'm going to do a specific video just about split sleeper. The smaller part has to be at least 2 hours. Okay, and the long part has to be at least 7 hours, and they have to add up to 10 and can only be 2 sections. So if you had 7 hours and 1 minute, you'd then need 2 hours and 59 minutes to make 10 hours, which can be easily done with an electronic log. It does not have to be exactly 7 hours. It can be any time between 7 and 8 hours, and the short one can be 2 to 3 hours, and they can be longer. You can split a 4-8 split, but the few hours of it won't count to your 14. It gets even more complicated. But it does not have to be exactly 7. It does not have to be exactly 8. Anywhere in between there is legal. Your company either doesn't know it or doesn't want to deal with the time in between. Well, companies pay you for all your time. Dope law. Most local companies will pay you for all your time. Mostly. And there's some over-the-road companies that are paying hourly. They do pay you hourly, so that's pretty good too. How are things so far, Red Monkey Trucking? You've been with us for a few months. Yeah, how are things over there teaming together? GP Transfer, we like the free groceries and orientation as people show from other companies broke and hungry. Yeah, the owner wants to make sure the drivers have a full belly till payday. I think it's a great idea. I never thought of it. And you're like, what can we do? What's a problem? How do we solve it? That's exactly what they're saying. And that's how every company and every successful person and company does. What's the problem? What is my solution to that problem? Companies are always trying to sell themselves to people. Don't sell yourself. Solve a problem. What is your company's problem solve for a driver? That's how you get drivers. Kenneth, wear Birkenstocks and shorts for places I delivered to, deal with office and the farms. Love going to them good people. Birkenstocks, fancy. Who was JB Hunt? I think that was a person at one point, right? Cash King got $400 detention. All right, basically day's pay for you. Burger King app is a lifesaver. You did say you had Uber Eats or somebody deliver Burger King to you. Slept 13 of the 25 hours, feeling refreshed. I bet. You're like in a Whopper coma. You're in an impossible Whopper coma. John J., the local driver, the new 30-minute changes made the day flow so much better and not cheated to log to begin in the dock off duty. Yeah, exactly. The 30 minutes is going to be the thing for local, and I think the split, if people will use it better, will help people on the road. But I don't like the idea that it's unpaid. You're probably going to work more and not make any more money, especially road drivers. James Bowman. Hello from Southern Hill, Virginia. Loves. Got my roller wieners for lunch. Awesome. Don't go from the section that says still cooking, though. Be sure to get the ones that are done. My first job, my own semi-job, only paid $33 more than my service porter job at a Ford dealership. Yikes. My first job paid me $250 a week salary. That was a local job at Economy Trucking. I don't even know if the place is still open. In Chicago on Armitage. Were they on Armitage? They were up there somewhere on Armitage. And it was local. They had 2 semis and 3 Mercedes straight trucks. Some Mercedes straight trucks. Just the most fascinating job. And I remember the owner had a Mercedes diesel sedan, one of those 300 SD sedans, and he had me move it once. And I thought, man, and it would have been this was 80. So this car was probably 86 to 88. I thought, man, this is the nicest car I've ever been in my life. And the trucks all had all the Mercedes gauges in them, all the straight trucks. Just great, but that paid $250 a week salary. And you worked 8 to 10 hours a day, not a huge day. George Costanza, my truck driver friend, went on keto and lost almost 100 pounds. He went from requiring the CPAP to curing it. He's still losing weight, but he was over 400. Yeah, so I bet he feels a lot better. Like a super lot better. Red Monkey Trucking going great. Everything is streamlined over here and appreciate that. And he liked the Kenworth. All right, I haven't seen any of those yet out there. There's a documentary on YouTube about J.B. Hunt. It's total fluff and tells about who he was. It's total fluff. It's like a sales thing for the... Please flush the toilet when you go to the truck stop. That's why they have to put in those automatic toilet things, because drivers won't even do that. I mean, come on. These are the same drivers that leave garbage laying around. It's not all drivers, but it does give drivers a bad name. Saw a couple pulled over Alex, the over-the-road driver, to make out on the side of the road, on the hood. Well, I guess at least they're not being distracted. We can always put a good spin on it. It's not distracted driving. Hello, Wild Bell. What is happening out there? There's somebody that gets paid for all their time and loves their job. See the teal, get a deal, come to work for GP Transco. Oh, that's good, too. That's good. You need to patent that. Pamela, that's great. Yeah, check them out. I've seen their ad. Go on there and check it out and just call them. And then let me know what it's actually about. What do you see us in the teal Kenworth? We come through Indy twice a week. Oh, it's teal, too? For some reason, I had in my mind it's maroon. I guess why would they do that, though? How does Cold Trans work? I don't know. What is Cold Trans? Anybody know about that? Joe Ritchie, we just got a new black 2021 Kenworth and white 2021 Freightliners. Our normal blue trucks are full. We're growing the fleet. Do drivers get a choice then? What would the purpose of having mandatory fuel stops? To even out IFTA or get the lowest fuel prices for GP Transco? No, I guess some drivers wanted them. Let's see what they say. If you ain't with teal, you got a bad deal. That's good, too. That's good. That would go good on the back of a trailer. Something catchy like that is very good. Why do company drivers, Joe Ritchie, want to lease and drive for $1.05 a mile? No way you win. I understand. I don't know. I mean, Dart just put a thing out because Schneider put out a deal and said, oh, we're raising our pay. And Dart came out, oh, wait a minute, don't forget about us. And they mentioned in there that they raised their lease from $1 to $1.05 a mile. I'm like, oh, so I go broke 2 weeks later in bankruptcy court. That's no kind of money. You cannot make the payment because they commented in their article. They lowered the price of their lease truck from $2,600 a month to $2,200 a month. Oh, $2,200 a month. Plus all your other expenses, and you're getting $1.05. You're not making any money, certainly not money over a company driver. Holy mackerel, that is no money, $1.05. Pilot French vanilla coffee or loves pumpkin spice. Is it pumpkin spice yet? That's for November. Make sure drivers are running efficient, not getting into areas where there isn't fuel. This is mostly for fleets that hire less experienced drivers. Yes, drivers should always be watching. Turns out the trucks now have a gauge on them because we get people that go run out of fuel every once in a while too. We can fuel anywhere. I have an open COM data card, and there's still drivers that run out of fuel. How do you do that? You can fill up anywhere you want, and you can still run out. Is Cold Trans a good company? Yeah, does anybody know anything about Cold Trans? Major Barrett, is that what that is? Oh, I was thinking Star Trek, right. I worked for JB Hunt 25 years. I quit because of containers. Tired of putting 2,700 to get 300 miles back off the rail. Yeah, see, that's the thing. But then some people write to me, go, Mark, these containers they're doing here, it's the best thing ever. They pay so much. So it seems to be all over the place there for that. The 8th is, you've been there 6 months already? Holy moly. The Big Rig, John Trucking. Things have been pretty good for the first week of Colonial. Good. A lot of Southeast. Yeah, if you're on refrigerated, right, I think they pretty much stay down there. Orientation was short. They only do lease drivers or owner ops, no company drivers. Oh, so you're leasing. What's the lease? Great, lease. How much do they pay on their lease? Or is it percentage? Is it a flat rate on that lease? Mr. Crouch, I don't think she knew exactly it's new hours to serve, but it's great. I like it. Yeah, she probably didn't, and that's the thing. The FMCSA did put out guidance on that it doesn't have to be an exact 7. As long as the 2 are 10, one is at least 2, and one's at least 7, and the 2 add up to 10 hours. That's all it has to be. So anywhere in between there is legal, but your company can limit it. They can say, no, you have to only do 7. They can do that. My brother's a company and a driver told him when he does his bathroom biz, put the top in the trailer, get rid of it. Ugh. I'm done delivering 5 drops of Pennsylvania, Mr. Weiner. Wow, that's a whole week. Closing my doors as I type and going back home empty. I'll be standing by listening. All right, that's pretty good. They're letting you go all the way to North Carolina, or is it your truck? GP Trans, I was thinking for some reason to do it, maybe give drivers the parameters and see if they could do it themselves. I feel at off hours, so no lines, and pick low prices. Yeah, I mean, who wants to sit in a line? That's what I don't understand about companies that make you go to only a certain spot. Some companies give you a specific fuel stop. You must stop at this pilot, and you must get 82 gallons of fuel. What if there's 4 trucks in line, but right across the street is, a Petro, which you don't get a lot of company trucks fueling there, and so they don't have a line. Is it better off to have a driver sit there and waste an hour of his day fueling the truck? I mean, really, where the truck's going to sit there and run, no driver's going to turn it off like that. I don't think you save money doing that. I don't. I just introduced my girlfriend to my parents. My dad kept asking to get a better look at her. I wish he would stop drinking. Sid, yikes. If I had a mandatory stop and I stopped for my 10-hour break, 1 hour before the stop, I'd have to stop soon after starting my next day. Oh, right, because the stop's mandatory. Yeah, drivers can better plan their day. Experienced drivers can better plan their day. Well, Bill, if I could send a heat-seeking missile to you, I would. But I do love my job. Also love jockets and cold toilet seats. Well, at least you got something going on. It's a conspiracy against you, Mark. You never see a teal truck. Oh, I know. They have 5 trucks and just a deep blue and happens to go by right where I'm going down 70. Oh, right. Like come on. I already took 2 of their trackers off my cars. It's crazy. You shared the stream. All right. Appreciate it. If you don't like the truck, you get a GP Transco. The Russian boss lady will say, go home. You go. The Russian boss lady. That's a good idea, putting a fuel gauge on a vehicle. Cash King Trucking. Yeah, it turns out that some of the newer trucks have one built right in, right? You don't have to do the stick. I've done, right? My Astro had that. You had to we had a stick that you'd keep, and you just stick it on the tank, and go, 4 inches of fuel left. All right. Fun fact, there are 2 check engine lights in the new Cascadias. Yeah, there's 3 check engine lights in mine. You get a yellow one, and then a yellow one that says check, and then a red one. So as they light up, kind of like a starting gate at a drag race. The first one lights up. Once the second one lights up, then you're like, all right, I better call it. And then that starts to blink, and you're like, well, now I got a problem. Cold Trans is out of Salt Lake City. All right. Right by our other famous refrigerated carrier out there. I wonder if they're related. I'm a company driver for Dart, big stuff, at 54 cents. Don't understand why someone signed up for lease. Yeah, some lease driver at Dart making $1.05. Do you think they make more than you making 54 cents? I don't think so. I don't think at the end of the week, especially with the benefits you get, there's no way they're making more money. Trucks are assigned an orientation really when drivers show to work. Depends on what's open and the driver arrives. If you want, you get an assignment, but all super nice trucks, fully loaded. Yeah, I'm just curious if they could pick a kind if you have a selection or whatever like that. Yeah, I mean, if they're all... Every once in a while you get a driver, which we had here a week ago, that wouldn't drive a certain specific kind of truck, but that's crazy. If the truck is nice and it's full of food, right, what's the difference? The new Qualcomm has a wheel pair sleeper berth checkbox. Yeah, see, that's why I didn't know what that was. Because mine hasn't updated yet. My Geotab. It's still in the dark ages. I'm still like, wow, is this last week still? Jerry Rocks, where do I work? Yeah, I always keep that. That keeps them out of my videos. I don't see where work keeps them out of the videos, right? No recruiting here, too. Even no ads on the live show. Mr. Beaner's a company driver. You're delivering LTL furniture, and they let you go back home to North Carolina? That's pretty good. Who's the Russian boss lady? I'm just picturing the woman from Bullwinkle. What are you referring to? There's a difference between asking for a truck and demanding it. Yes, with the driver. I will not drive that Swedish truck. That's somebody. I had an incident at an ABBA concert, and I will never step foot in a Volvo. That's probably how that worked. Oh, we deliver our own product. Oh, good. Companies usually make more money that way too. I was 400 pounds, now 230 and 6'1". That's really good. That's really good. GP Transco, when a driver behaves unprofessionally in orientation, imagine how they will behave at a customer when they have to wait. Yes, that's a good way to tell how it's going to go later. And how are they going to behave with you also on the phone? Companies get rebates up to 15 cents a gallon. They do. Look, they do, but it's usually like, all pilots or whatever. It can't be a specific thing. And I still don't think even at 15 cents, you're making a driver wait. They may have to wait another 10 hours. Is that worth it? No. Pay the fuel cost. See, I say this. People don't say it, but I do. Don't worry about the small stuff, okay? Worry about the big stuff, and then the small stuff figures itself out. That's how I do it. People always say, worry about the small stuff. No. Worry about the big stuff, and then you don't have to worry about small stuff. Like, you don't do that with your car, do you? Well, maybe people do. Do you search around for the cheapest gas price? Because I have a friend that does this. Ooh, it's 4 cents less here. I'm going to get gas here. No, I don't care. I just get gas. Time to get gas, I get gas. Wherever it is, I'm right here. Here's a gas station. I'm going to get gas. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the little things. Worry about the big things. Done at Costco. Empty at 12:13. Showed up at 11. Now that's the way to do it. No more this 25 hours in the dock. Is this a Costco in Houston too? Did you make it to Houston already? Oh, that's right. You don't have a logbook. Ken, it's been driving since 91. Ran out of fuel once when you're a sub truck and the fuel gauge hung and full. Now I agree with that. That is sub truck. Whenever I get in a new truck, I fill it up to see where the gauge goes and then watch the miles in the gauge to see if they're accurate. Then the next time you fill it up, you can see, all right, half gauge, fill it up or whatever. Yeah, congratulations on that. It's good weight loss. What's up, fuel lane blockers? Camden flatbed. Not anymore. Not with the new hours of service, right? All right, the lease is $615 a week and 67%. Okay. But I got an older truck with 4.5 months left. It's a better deal than Prime. Everything's a better deal than Prime. Do you know I get people writing me paying $1,300 a week at Prime? That's crazy. 4.5 months. So what are you going to do at 4.5 months? What do they do? Do you, I guess you just can lease another truck or whatever? I guess. And why does it have 4.5 months left on it? Did somebody move out of it? Did they go broke? What happened? And I guess the third question, what is 67% of the line haul getting you today? It should be doing good. Rates are good. Safer Web says Coltrans has 100 power units and out of service rate is 13%. Holy mackerel. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's huge out of service for them. Gear Jammer, greetings from Kansas City. Driver get a 5-day suspension if they don't stop right exactly where the stop is installed. Drive cams know where the stop signs are located. Yeah, some of them do. Some of those, Samsara is one of them. Lytics can sometimes do that. I don't know about Lytics, but I think they can do that. Yeah, and you have to stop at the stop signs. Yep, that's a problem. Can't stand when my, I've met, let's see, where did I go off to? Oh, can't stand when my Russian boss lady gets mad at me. Yeah, what is up with that? If you only had one, you need to go get one. GP Transco, there's a driver on YouTube that talks about it. It's not true. Well, who's taught? What the heck? He's probably in that deep blue truck, too. Trucker Hershey has not met the Russian boss lady yet. Did Swift buy Premier? No. I keep looking for Swift buying places. No, not that I know of. There's no purchases or whatever going on other than Volkswagen buying Navistar, of all things. Because, they're super successful in sales here in the United States. Mr. Beener runs Pennsylvania twice a week. Oh, so you go back and forth there anyways. We know exactly the driver is. It was a one-sided video that skipped the way he behaved in orientation. Always show your best side. Professionalism important, and it should be. Look, when you go to a customer, you got to kind of be with it, right? So hungry for a hot dog. It's time. Go get one while you can. Steel Horse, it's good to see you. Happy Roller Wiener Monday, everyone. Jim Trucker. Costco's quick. Went to door at 3:08 and emptied in 25 minutes. And took my Olive Garden buzzer. That is pretty good. I guess it's U.S. Food Service has always been the one, right? United Foods, all those are horrible. Cold storage place is never great. Antonio's going 62 in the left lane. Everyone's waving at me with their middle finger. Oh, they're all saying hello to you from the right lane. Drove 20 miles out of my way to save 3 cents. People do this all the time in their cars too. Friend of mine, I've said this, he's got some kind of app, Gas Buddy or whatever, and it tracks like the cheapest gas price. He'll go like 10 miles. He'll go save a couple cents a gallon. I'm like, just go fill up your car wherever there's gas. What is the deal? Well, Bill lost 131 pounds in one day, got a divorce. Nice. Everyone has enough sense not to listen to those clout-chasing fearmongers. I work at GP Transco and treat me with respect. I've never gotten anybody to write to me that says, look, I went to GP Transco and it's been horrible. That's not what they say. They're like, oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. People do write in and say that a lot. GP Transco never hears about it from that side. People don't write to them, but they write to me and say, you talked about it, I went there, and it's totally different and it's great. So by 2020, a Volvo VNR is a digital readout about how many miles it's still empty, as long as it's accurate, right? Some of them have a digital readout, so you should be able to look at that too. And I love seeing that. It'll say like 1,800 miles, because I had a Volvo loaner a while ago. 1,800 miles until empty or what. I'm like, wow, I wish a car said that. In a truck, when you're talking 150 gallons, I wait to get fuel 208 instead of 248, saving $60. Yeah. It's not $60 on a load, I don't think is that big of a deal. I just don't find it that much. It's not much. A load that's 1,000 miles might pay $2,000-$3,000. You're saving $60. Okay, that's 2%. That's nothing. That's still only 2%. I'm running late today because please don't hold it against me. You're still working at Zero England. Yeah, still at England, and I was running late today as well. So that worked out good for both of us. Captain Flatbed, my service is bad. I had a 98.67 week last week. Close to that. Wow. You're trying to break that 10-figure week? Wow. Olive Garden sounds good when you're there, your family, which means you have to do the dishes. When I was a kid, my dad caught me smoking a cigarette, but instead of making me smoke the whole pack, he just held up a pink dress and said, it's twirling time. It was my birthday. Well, that happens. And I've been there. On the cigarette part, it'd get burned all the time with him because that's how you learn. That's what I was understood to be. There's a recall on all these Cascadias, including this deep blue one, presumably. 2017 to 2021 Cascadias, their brake lights may stay on after you take your foot off the brake. So they're recalling them all to replace some kind of brake switch thing. I had this problem with my 2018 Cascadia probably about a year ago now. It went to the shop and they couldn't figure it out. I had this very problem. The brake lights stayed on, and when the brake lights are on, guess what? No cruise. So couldn't use the cruise, and nobody knew if you were pressing the brakes, so the brakes were on. And it took them a while to figure it out. They're finally being recalled. So if you have one of these new Cascadias, 2017 to 2021, they have a recall for this brake switch. It'll be out in a few weeks, and you'll be taking your truck in to get it fixed so that the brake lights don't stay on. You'll know they're on, though. Well, you'll see them at night, but you'll also know because you can't use cruise because it thinks the brakes are on. I had a boss that was obsessed with Pennsylvania. Had to run Pittsburgh, Camden, and Baltimore, who's insisted we skip toll roads as much as possible. 68. Oh, there's a lot of companies like that. Oh, yeah, you can't run the Pennsylvania Turnpike or whatever. Just run 68. It's almost the same. That's what they like to tell you. It's just like running the Pike. Yeah, except there's not places to stop, and it's horrible, unlike the Pike. And in the winter, it is a disaster of snow, as most of the roads out there are. Remember Jim Mullen, the head of the FMCSA? Remember he's leaving? He says, I'm just going to head out of here. I've been here, a few months. Well, he's going to go work at Too Simple. Too Simple is the autonomous company. Too Simple. He's going to become their head of legal and something with risk management over there, if you remember that. And let's see, where did I go off to? Oh, what does Skittles think about that anyways? Skittles? How about that, an award-winning cat? Skittles. Cat. Smushed face cat. I don't know what they call those. There's probably a name for it. Recall for the anti-collision also. Guess they'll do both at the same time. Yeah, if it's got another recall, take it in for both of them. But this brake light thing is a problem. At least it was on my truck. The cruise wouldn't work. And then they would go out, the brake light, and then the cruise would work. And so you're cruising, and then it would turn the cruise off because the brake lights came back on, which has got to be annoying for people following you also. So eventually they did replace it on my truck some time ago. Now they're all being recalled for a problem that I already had. Weston just ordered a 2021. I hope the brake light staying on problem is fixed. Tell them if it's being built or whatever, tell them when you're getting it, hey, why don't you do this recall that my new truck already has on it, so that it comes out of the factory already working. Gotta love a freight shaker. It's already recalled. It's just being ordered. They're all going back for this problem. Apparently, no matter what color they are, they're going to do that. Yeah, Persian, tortoiseshell Persian, right? But I don't know, I don't know anything more about cats when they go compete like that. My cat only just competes for the food bowl in the morning and then goes to compete for sleeping. Everybody knew, I think, that Jim Mullen was going to go work in the private sector. There's just, when people go to government and then in a few months they leave, there's somebody in the private sector that says, oh, you can come work over here and we'll pay you 10 times the money or whatever that they were making in government. So Jim Mullen gone, and this Wiley Deck guy is going to be probably the head of the FMCSA at the moment. And yes, that's his name, Wiley Deck. I was planning routes on cheaper fuel stops. Sometimes not possible. I do try. If it's going by anyway, but I don't think stopping for a few bucks makes a difference. So $60, the driver has to wait in line, say behind 4 trucks, takes an hour. I mean, the truck costs more than $60 an hour to run in its totality. You haven't saved any money. There's the time value of money. Everything isn't just sitting and saving. There's not always a savings depending how long it takes to save that much money. When I trucked in Chicago, going south on Ashland, the viaduct before 18th also says take both lanes. The safety department told us to, because if something happens, you'll be at fault. On a lot of those low ones, I agree, because there's always a bridge support. There's always a bridge support right there in the corner of the bridge. So yeah, move over and take both lanes. Totally agree. Yep, and a lot of them are marked wrong. When I was running Chicago, a lot of them are 13.4. They're marked 13.4, and I think they do that, they've always said, to keep trucks out of the routes. But you can get under a lot of them. Now, I don't know which ones it is anymore. I haven't done that for a while, where I was in Chicago every day, but some of them are wrong. There used to be a bridge map you could buy from the city every year, and every bridge in town was marked on that map. Very useful for somebody just starting out. I'll let you know, pay next week if I catch the show. I don't know what the history of the truck is. I'll get in another used one at 4 months. Lease purchase after a year, brand new. And no drive cam. Good for that. You shouldn't. If you own the truck, they have no business putting that in there. So you get a used one, get another used one, and then a brand new one. All right. Does the price go up on a new one? Oh, the Cat Fancier Association. Okay. I cannot imagine, I guess because of the way the cat is, I just can't imagine taking the cat there. The only way I could take the cat there would be in a cat carrier. Okay, taking her out in front of a bunch of people or whatever, and having other people visit her, do stuff, touch her, whatever. Nah, she's not really big on that. When they were doing the lock here, she was gone somewhere. I don't know where she went off to. The four-wheelers don't like it until you're number one, especially if your brake lights are blinking on and off. Oh, the FMCSA denied a petition. So the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, CVSA, petitioned the FMCSA to limit personal conveyance. And I talked about this a few months ago. They go limit personal conveyance time or hours, or miles, I should say. How much time you can use at one time or how many miles you can drive on personal conveyance. Well, the FMCSA came out now and said, no, we're not going to do that. That you at the CVSA haven't proven that how many drivers it will affect, and that it will improve safety in any way. So those of you that can PC as far as you want will still be able to for the foreseeable future, because they just denied a petition to limit how far you can go on PC. I kind of thought they might go the other way on it, but no. So as there is now, there'll be no limit on personal conveyance distance as long as you're otherwise legal on it. Ryan, with the brake light issue, had a driver over the CB yell at me to stop riding the brakes. Yeah, and it turns out it's the brake light pressure switch thing or something underneath somewhere in the truck. I don't know what they did with it, but they fixed it. Yeah, mine were on and then they're off and on. And eventually, when I took the truck to get fixed, to drop it off and exchange trucks, they just stayed on. You parked the truck and they were just on. Fortunately, they're LED, so it should be able to stay on for quite a while. Dawa Sherpa, namaste from Granite City. Well, hello there. It's good to see you. Weston, I'll do detours to lower price fuel stops, but it has to be worth it. If I've averaged $1.83 to $2.17, I spend maybe $7 to $8.50 a week, and that includes reefer fuel. If it's worth it, you can't go sit somewhere for hours to save $50. People, it is not worth it. That's just not worth it. You're better off making another couple cents on the freight, I think. If you made 2 cents on the freight, you could eat that $60. Wouldn't make any difference. Stop whenever you want. Handsome Poochie, hope all is well. 70 east of Indy is a mess. Really? What's going on out there? Is there construction by the airport or something out there, trucker? I don't, east of Indy, which is not Indy Airport. There's another airport that I can't think of the name of. I don't change route for fuel stop. I just look on the app to see prices. Should I get it here or turn to 50 miles down the road? Planning. Also, I like to get it in the afternoon on the road. I like to get early afternoon fuel on the road and get showered up then. That's how I always did that. 1, 2 o'clock stop, shower, then go down the road 3-4 hours and park. Find a place to park down there. Then I don't have to go in later when everybody's in showering, or the few drivers that shower are in there showering. How's it going, Todd Heifel? It's good to see you. Going good. U.S. Foods, Roma Foods. Oh, Roma Foods. And Walmart are the worst receivers. Take forever and leave the trailer a mess. Cash King Trucking. Why can't we find a way to charge them? The trailer should be broom clean, as they say, when they give it back to you. Because they won't load it like that. It should be given back to you in a way that they would accept for loading. How about that? Kelly works for GP Transco and loves it so far. That's the reports I get from people. Good. What color truck do you have? Took 20 hours to get to Houston, 20 hours straight. Right. Alexander, hello. I don't have a jack bad service from Kansas. All right, it's good to see you anyway. Whatever happened to Chicago routing? Are they still around? We had to call them 30 years ago for directions before we got to Chicago. I don't know if places still do that. If Chicago routing did that, when I was started local there, I bought a bridge map, and it was just a paper map then. Paper, imagine that, and which would probably be online now. Every bridge was marked with a color, green, yellow, red on the map. Every bridge in town. So you could route yourself, turn here, turn there, know what the height of every bridge was. Any bridge that was under 14 hours was on 14 feet was on the map. They told me the new one will be around $875 a week. Oh, also so it's brand new. The price includes insurance, unlike Prime, where it was $1,100 plus a laundry list of other things. Yeah, I mean Prime is some of the highest lease price I've ever seen for a truck. $65,000 a year to lease a truck. I mean, so in 4 years, you pay $250,000, and then what? They let you buy it? Even for $1, it's not a great deal. Trucker Path is a good app for planning with spots to park and fuel prices. A lot of people do use it. Sweep it off, Eric. Sweep it off on their lot. You know, you sweep all that stuff out, which is theirs. They paid for the whole load, and then they get mad at you. The trailer should be provided back to you the way it would be accepted for loading. Kelly, I just spent 4 days in the shop in Sparks for a DEF pump and recall upgrades. Yeah, the DE, when that goes out, you're finished for a while. Watching Cassius Night Ranger. Watching Cassius King show is like watching the Gong Show at the neighbor's house eating a bucket of chicken. It's good times. Oh, JP, why'd you gong the unknown comic? Oh, my gosh. Irishman is late. How many demerits is that? None today after I showed up late. Just pulled into Rockwall, Texas to eat at the Burger King at the TA. Is it still open? Is that one open at least? David, I still have a copy of that clearance map of Chicago. Really? Well, I wouldn't still use... I don't know when the last paper map they made for that is. I don't know if I'd still use it. I guess they wouldn't get any smaller, though. They should at least get bigger. When do they still sell it? Are you telling me they still sell that paper clearance map in Chicago? It was the most useful thing. And trucking companies that would come into our little place, Economy, and back in, and I'd be talking to them because I have to wait for the dock. We only had that one dock, and I didn't care. I'd say, look, you got to go buy a map, because they're always like, oh, I don't know how to get out or whatever. Go buy a map. Prime pretending it's my equipment, Weston. At $1,300 a week, you're living in it. It's your house. There's no way to take any time off If you took a week off at 1,300 plus all this extra stuff, and you come in, when you come back to work Monday, you're 1,300 plus dollars in the hole when you get started for the week. That you can't make any money doing that. You can't forever be in the hole, and you at least want some time off eventually. It's tough to make money on a 5-day week if you want to go home on weekends, paying a $1,300 lease payment on a truck. I mean, you're taking a day or two to make that money up first. My FLD's in the shop, so I'm in my Cascadia. I don't like it. You have an FLD in the shop? Wow. Do you run your own company? I mean, who would put that? I guess there are companies that would put that on. They stopped making that quite a few years ago. If you're in a trailer that's 13.6, would you go under 13.6 bridge? Well, they're usually not even. If I didn't know how small it was, I'd probably inch up to it, right? So, but usually they're a little over. Usually. But any bridge I was unsure of, I would just inch up to. Some of these drivers that just go rolling under bridges, there are tons of videos about them, and they peel their trailer back. What are you doing? Okay, if you are unsure at all, you cannot just go flying under the bridge. I mean, that is no way to do it. You're going to get a peeled trailer, and then your company's not going to be happy about that. Did anybody see this 10-4 exhibition in the National Mall? 10-4 for truckers on the National Mall. What about that? There were 30 whole trucks this year. I got a free box of Twinkies from Hostess. Really? How do you arrange that? I used to get free stuff from Keebler when I would deliver for them. Yeah, very slowly. Exactly. Right? Touch it, and that's it. We're backing up. And I try to find out in advance how tall it was, really. Weston, I learned that company percentage is skimmed multiple times. Notice you get a company header letterhead as bill of lading, not the original broker and shipper. I think you can ask for it, or you certainly should be able to ask for it. And if they don't give it to you, even if they're not legally obligated to give it to you, if they won't show it to you, that should tell you something. Any company that pays percentage should be happy to show you the stuff from the broker or whatever and say, hey, we're not skimming it. We're straight up with you. That's certainly how they should do it. They should want to be like that. They were like, hey, we're not doing anything here. Tip trailers used to give the maps out to drivers around request. Oh, that would have been great. I had some old trailer back then. It was, I don't know how old it was then, 70s? Stan Dodge coming to you from the Flying J live in the Flying J at 465. Wow, exit 4. Very nice. What's going on down there? New York marks all bridges 1 foot low to keep trucks out of the roads, probably. Anytime I went to New York City, I would always call everybody in advance. I'm coming in. How do I get to where you are? How do you bring trucks into where you are? And then when you're standing there, I would ask them, how do I get out of here back to, wherever I was, whatever interstate I was getting on? Exactly how do I do this? That's what I would do it didn't matter if they sent directions. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if they sent a Sherpa with me. Okay, I would call. I would always call to get those kind of directions. You can't risk that kind of stuff. And how come you're not at Mr. Fuel? I always liked parking there better. It seems like the parking there is easier and easier to get out of at Exit 4 there in Indianapolis. I wonder if TMC does that since they pay percentage. If they pay percentage, you should be able to get the bills. Now, as a company driver, you probably don't have a right to it. You should be able to ask them anyway, and they should want to show it to you. Plus, at TMC, you can just go in there and get it because you're an owner. That's what they promote all the time. Employee owned. Well, you march your butt right in there and go, hey, I own this place, mister. Give me them bills. And they should just sorry, we didn't know you were the owner. And they should just hand them to you. That's how I think it would work. Eric is looking for a Marmon. Good luck. Anyone that is in decent shape, people are probably using. There's not many left. They didn't make many to start with. Low bridge, always the 4 ways and creep up. Never haul the mail under a low boy bridge. Always go slow at a bridge you don't know. Ooh, which rhymes also. We could put that on the back of a trailer too. Sure, you can just apply Crisco on your trailer before going under the low overpass. Also, Alexandra, for the science-minded, the faster you go, the lower the bridge you can get under. So there's also that. Yep. And there's a formula for that, I'm sure. Chris, how are you doing this morning? Sorry I'm late. I was a little behind too today. It's good to see you. Doing great as always. Am I the only one that watched the 11-foot 8-inch bridge videos on YouTube? Oh, those are great. All right, people. And that's an 11-foot 8 bridge. If you haven't seen it, it's got flashing lights over it that tell you to turn and everything. And drivers still run into the bridge. amazing. And it's not even close. I mean, it looks like, I would assume when you're driving up to it, it looks like it's going to clip you in the top of the head. So you're like, you got to be able to see, like, this bridge is low. Headlow joined the Teal Revolution and got a 2021 Teal Freightliner, a company driver getting a truck with 96 miles on it. That's pretty good. Teal. I assume that you're somewhere out west right now, because that's where those Teal trucks immediately go to. Oh, Teal. It probably says that on the dispatch screen. Dispatch west only. Tell that buck-toothed girl with the really tight Jerry curl there at the Flying Jan XF4 that I still want my refund. Just Geek Trucking. Wow. I use Crisco on my fifth wheel. Wow. I never thought about that. Born man, I don't know if we'd last long, though. All yellow clearance is a foot lower or measured from the sidewalks. White is accurate unless you're in Long Island. Weston, I just don't risk it there. There's too many bridges. They're all over the place. It's just a nightmare. I haven't been there in years, and it's just a nightmare. I was going down there. I would go down there in a refrigerated, and it's just a disaster. I had to drop at a small place. It was so small, I had to disconnect from the trailer. So he goes, when you park, because the trailer stuck out 3/4 of the way across the street, he goes, you're going to need to disconnect so cars can get by. They're called the police. Then I got a call. They're like, do you know your trailer is your trailer's disconnected from your tractor? Did you know that? I thought, that's hilarious. No, I did? Really? I must have dropped it somewhere. I'm like, yes, I know that. Oh, okay, well, we're just checking. New York State claims it's because of snow, but there are a lot of places where snow's worse. Exactly. Jetty Rabbit said, ew, I'm driving my life away. Yes, that's what we're all doing, right? I love driving on the freeway, even if I have nowhere to go. I can just zone out and try to remember what the head was like. Yeah, the same. It's like the same here. Or me. They added 8 inches of clearance to the 11-foot 8-inch bridge, and there's still about 1 truck a week. It's still not low enough, though, right? I mean, that's still not going to get you where you want to go. That's 11/16. It's still not enough. Oh, Kelly, your truck is white, so I've probably seen that truck go by. I see some white ones occasionally, not many. Other than that Volvo, there's a white Volvo running for them that is out here all the time. I love when the 11-foot 8 takes the air conditioner off the top of RVs. It like slices it perfectly, and they don't even know it until they get where they're going. Like, it's so hot in here. Controlling diabetes type 2 is simple. Don't eat sugar, don't eat carbs, intermittent fasting, no complications. Well, okay. Well, there is a trucking diabetes channel that you can go off to and talk to that person about. Exactly. I saw the bridge video. Unbelievable. It's still getting hit. They've done everything. They put an iron bar or something, like a I-beam in front of it also, and people still hit it. It's going to get hot so fast. Like, turn the air on. It's so quiet in this RV. I just can't believe it. They raised it to 8 inches to 12.6 now. Just had a box truck take the whole roof off because they floored it trying to beat the light. Well, they didn't go fast enough or they'd come right out the other side of the bridge, right? Science. You're going into the Flying J to get his cash now? I do refrigerated. Lots of food places are super tight. This place had, 2 or 3 docks, some really small place. And it wasn't even a refrigerated load. It was like flour or something. It wasn't refrigerated. And I'm like, really? So backing in, it took forever to back into because there's no swing room. I mean, that's the end of the street. So, and once you get in, you'd have to disconnect and park on the side of the road. And then they're calling. They're like, hey, do you know you're disconnected? Yeah, I know. I did it. Oh, we're checking. Like, how would you not know that, I guess? I mean, even if it came up while you were driving, it seems like that'd be something you'd notice and probably be attending to at that time. But yeah, I knew it. And so I'm like, I know. Oh, well, we have to just call you and make sure you know about it. Oh, all right. Thanks. I had no idea. The bridge is 12.4 now. They added 8 inches. Cash King Trucking. Yeah. That's still, like 2 meters short or something. I don't know about metrics. Still amazed me that you don't need an endorsement for campers. Well, they can't, because who gripes about that? They AARP. Really. Whenever they say, oh, it should also be any vehicle over, 26,000 pounds. Nope. AARP is like, no way. We want 93-year-old people to be able to drive a Greyhound bus down the road. Are you kidding me? With no kind of endorsement or medical check. So they come out of the woodwork, and they're huge. So, nope. Steel Morrissey, exactly. Yes, exactly. It was nice. Very satisfying. Let's put it that way. Didn't even need Crisco. Do you see the pickup truck peel back a fifth-wheel camper? The driver must have forgot to measure his clearance. People that pull pickups don't realize. They're like, I don't know how tall it is. They don't even know. I'm 69, still driving. After JB Honda, I'm an owner-operator, pull a reefer. Yeah, I mean, would you drive at, say, 99? There was just a video I watched, some veteran, and they made a point to say it was a veteran so you could feel better about it, I guess. He was 104. He went to the Chevy dealer to buy a new car, and they found this out that he was like a, I don't know, Korean War veteran or World War II veteran. I don't remember. But he was a veteran, a decorated veteran, and they gave him the car free. And they made a big deal about it. Of course, they shouldn't have published it if they're doing it just because they're great. You know, they just want to help them. But either way, there was a video about it, and I thought, does a guy that's 104 need a car? That's my question. Can somebody drive this guy around? I'm just saying. He's 104 years old. Do you think you should drive a semi if you're 104? Or even a car? I mean, when airline pilots have to retire at 62. I was at a place the other day where a guy thought he was unloaded. Pulled out of the door and drove 100 miles, got to his pickup and realized he was not unloaded. How does it? Oh, what did he back in? They never changed the light. And then he looks out and it's green and he leaves. Didn't somebody call this guy? The guy's like, I was here to unload door 17. I thought you said there was a trailer here. That's the guy in the dock, right? How does that kind of thing happen? How do you shut your doors and not realize I guess a roll-up door. You still got to look. Even a roll-up door, you open it up and make sure that they took their stuff out of there. Most of the Opie Knievel. Most of the vehicles I've seen in those 11.8 videos are RVs and rental trucks, not professional drivers. That's true. Most of them are. Some of them are, companies, though, where it's like a painting company or something. So I would consider that a professional driver. He's being paid to drive that vehicle. That's a professional driver. So they should know. And really, if you have an RV, you should still watch your clearances. Got to run to a meeting. GP Transco, thanks for another fun live show. Good. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Answering questions and just being here. Thank you for being here. I'm celebrating 1 year at Eb3. Going to treat myself to roller wiener. It's Monday. You know, they should give you a coupon. 1 free Eb3 wiener. That's what it should say on it. And you can redeemable anywhere. Maybe companies should do that. You should be able to turn in a receipt for roller wiener at your 1 year anniversary and get it reimbursed. Mother trucker. I'm done with over the road. Going to try local. I've heard that snow clearing pays well. That's true. I might try that this winter. Anyone know what to search for? Well, yeah. The signs are up here in Indiana. Come plow snow with us. I've seen them. They have message board signs. It's at Indiana DOT.gov or something like that. But the thing here in Indiana and probably other states, when they're hiring you to plow snow, which they'll do, you have your CDL, it's not full time. They call you, and I don't know what it paid, 27 something, 26,000 an hour, paid good, but it's only for the time you're working. It's only during your shift. So it's more for people that have a lot of free time, like you're 50 and retired, I guess, if that happens. But it's not a full-time thing, at least not here in Indiana. Maybe if you go further north, maybe they do more of it. So maybe that's better. Depends where you live, I guess. You're a Vietnam veteran. Okay, yeah, he was, I think because of his age, he's a lot older than you, was either Korea or World War II. I just was like, he was 104 years old. I'm one of the oldest people in the world at that age, honestly. Does somebody that's 104 need a car? Should they be driving, was the question. At 104. This isn't somebody at 70. This is somebody that is really old. What's your opinion on Chima trucking? I never heard of Chima, Louie. Cashier's King trucking with swing doors. And not to pick on them more than one. It was a Hirschbach lease purchase, that figures. He has to get going. He's got to make a payment. He drove 100 miles before he realized he was still loaded and had to drive back. Who does? How do you not know that? How do you not even look? You're already back there. You're like, boy, this empty trailer doesn't pull good. But even if it was light, do you not look in the trailer and go, oh, there's still a bunch of pallets in here? I think when you back in, they should lock you immediately, even if they're not doing anything with you. That would end a lot of that stuff. This is partly why Walmart has you drop your trailer, too. I think because then they don't have this problem. He's lucky somebody wasn't in the trailer or whatever looking at his load, and he takes them with him. When I drove a truck, I was more comfortable driving south side than the north side. Bridges are lowest on the north side of Chicago. Yeah, south side. Greetings, drivers. Just arriving at the Roller Weiner bar. Was busy loading my trailer. Wouldn't that be great if they had a bar for those? Ooh, I'll have the, it'd be some fancy name. The guy drove 100 miles, didn't realize he was loaded. It's exactly what you'd expect. 30 white bread or basketball shorts, socks, and flops. Of course. But he's trying to get that 99-cent fuel that they constantly advertise in that extra, how was it, $3,000 a month or something they're putting out there? Look, there's no excuse, I think we can agree with this, to drive 100 miles and not realize that you were not unloaded when you walk back there to shut your doors. I think that's your chance, it seems like right there, to maybe check, like the trail. Like you could even bring a flashlight if it's dark in there, maybe light it up a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Is this crazy to think about? This isn't even seems like it's something that has to be taught to people. Like, are they going to have like a class on it? Like, once you're unloaded, make sure your trailer's empty kind of thing. Maybe he thought he got his pallets returned. He's got like 40 CHEP pallets on there. 3 tours there. All right. Do you think at 104 you should drive veteran or not? They put it out as a veteran to kind of pull on your heartstrings and that, and I get that. But a veteran, not veteran, 104 driving. Robert, I retired at 70. All right. No tickets or crashes. Yeah, 70. That's, imagine 34 more years. That's what I'm saying. 104 is not 70. It depends on the physical. I mean, that's old. I mean, your reaction time, all that stuff. I don't know. Just see, and then the comments, I looked at the comments and I'm like, comments were, probably 70-30 against them getting the car at all, much less, him getting a new car. Now, I think that if they're doing it for good reasons, you don't publicize charity like that. You don't, oh, look how great we are giving this guy a car. That's not the greatest thing. But other than that, should he be driving at 104 years old? There's a bridge over troubled waters. That's true. I think it's in Gibraltar. They actually gun the cruise ships to make it under with inches to spare. How do they do that? Why does that make it go lower or something? I don't drive a cruise ship. They just have all the people go to the front, and then as they go into the bridge, you have to run to the back, and it keeps lowering it wherever the weight is on the ship. Oh, that'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? Depends on physical and mental health. Well, maybe. Giving a 104-year guy a new car is like a tasteless joke. I thought, this guy's 104. My truck is easy to spot on the driver's drive. A green magnetic Daw Pog sticker with a picture of a yellow lab on it. Aw, how do you get the stick on there? Flip-flops? What about the socks? Did they have the black socks with those things that hold them up? Those whatever they're called, sock gaiters or whatever that hold them up? Yeah, that is kind of crazy, right? Or white socks, or the no socks with that big yellow toe that, you hear it clicking. You hear it clicking on the ground as the person walks. Click, 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 like, a velociraptor coming at you. If you can pass the test, what age is you lose your right? Well, you lose your right when you can't pass the test. And I think the test in America is way, way easy. It should be much more complicated. Kitty Ling, sorry I'm late. Well, right. I wanted the bridges in Madison County, the low bridges. Somebody just took that bridge down in Indiana, if you remember, a year or two ago. A covered bridge. A truck drove over a covered bridge out here, not that far from here. And it was listed at like 6 tons, and they drove a semi over it, and it crashed, of course, and it was a big disaster. There was an iron bridge, too, that somebody brought down the same kind of way. They're like, we're following GPS. I'm like, over an iron bridge? The GPS is not something that you can follow in a semi other than a semi one. I feel like you should get a free valet at 104. Yeah, that'd be better. Let's drive the guy around. At 104, I'm willing to do that, all right? I'll take him places, you take him places, I'm in. That'd be better, right? Then he doesn't even have to pay for the car, and he can use that money to, take a cruise or whatever he wants to do. He's 104. Let him do whatever, but I don't know about driving. Cash King is going to start selling trucker track suits. Sign me up. Comes with a free pair of flip-flops. Oh, logoed suits. That'd be pretty good. A kangaroo trucker, yeah. And also the winter flip-flops, which are furry. Whenever I'm pulling off a dock, I'll go forward a few feet and stop just in case someone's in the trailer. Yeah, try to honk the horn or something. Waiting for the light, though, is usually a great idea, at least. Of course, I guess this guy had a green light. They never made the light go red. Somebody could have been in there looking at the load, which would have really surprised him when he walked back there. The real big John trucking, I think the better question is if an individual has declared that they cannot work anymore to the government, then why should they have the privilege of driving? I don't know about privilege of driving. They can't work. Who says he can't work? How about that? If we're talking about this 104-year-old guy, why is he declared he can't work? He's 104. He gets full Social Security whether he works or not. So he could certainly pull his Social Security and he could work, theoretically, right? There's a lot of jobs. People always think of work as a job. There are a lot of things you can do to make money besides going to a job every day. There are people of all age groups that should not be on the road. Now that we can agree with. Let's make the driving test tougher. Much, much tougher. So you actually have to show, that you can actually handle a car or vehicle. And I like the European model where as you get more complicated vehicles, even as a personal vehicle, you have to take a different test. You're going to pull a trailer, it's a test. A bigger trailer, some bigger SUV thing, everything's a different test. I like that. Different levels of license. Maybe they lease them the car, expect to get it back after the first payment. Oh, jeez, that's terrible. Why don't we just lease this? What's with these dispatchers? I do 22 to 2,300 miles a week, and she tells me I'm not doing much. They're like, why are you being so lazy? If that's in 5 days, that's not terrible. I'd tell her, why don't you give me more loads then? Say, hey, where are all the loads? I'm ready to run. I think everyone should take a new driving test every year after the age of 70. I have parents that are old. I could tell you stories. Yeah, they should. If they are not good drivers, you got to take their license or call the state and have their license taken. You don't want somebody to die because you didn't make a phone call. That wouldn't be right to do. Let him drive. He'll be fine. Let's hope. Lost and found. New to trucking in 9 months. I've been told you can do your PTI off duty, but my safety department, no. Anything you do on, to, or upon the truck is on duty. So if you're out looking at the truck, it's logged on duty. The FMCSA is very clear about that. Anything you do to the truck other than getting in it is on duty. So if you're checking the truck, you're doing anything to the truck, it's on duty time. And your safety department, they all ought to be fired. That's crazy. Oh, you can do this off duty. This must be some company with like 4 trucks. Don't tell me it's some 1099 company in Libertyville or outside Chicago, in the north side of Chicago. Ugh. Paul Harris, now understand why they have you disconnected, pull forward. It always irked me. Do they think I'm going to drive away? Yeah, they do. They're like, you're probably going to drive away. That's why Walmart does it. You're going to take your trailer. And so they put a thing there so you can't take it until they call you 2 days later or whatever to come and get it. If he's 104, he has to drive. All of his friends are dead. There's no one left to drive him to the store. People will drive him to the store. Okay, there are volunteer groups. There's a veterans home right here in Lafayette on the west side Veterans Home. They have volunteer drivers. They actually have their own bus too. They have a bus there that drives people around. So he could get a ride. Okay, if he lived in town and he said, I'm 104, I'll give the guy a ride somewhere if I'm available, okay? If everybody did that, he wouldn't have to drive his own car, and he'd have that money. It was a cruise, so he'd save himself $25,000 probably. He could take trips or do whatever he wants, with the money like that. And maybe he's got a lot of money, he doesn't care, but either way, it's still money he could use for other things. Kizzy and Chicken George. I love that. Sounds like the name of a wacky morning show. Hey, it's Rock 93. It's Kizzy and Chicken George. Balk, balk, they'd make the noises too. That'd be great. Delivered mail at the USPS facility in Dallas. A driver pulled on a red light while a forklift was partially on the dock plate. Driver didn't speak English or understand it. So you shouldn't have a license if you can't speak English. It's required. And if he's on a red light, do they not lock you? Does the post office not have locks? They just red light you like it's 1980? So they just have the switch where they turn and the light changes? That's not good. That's not a way to do it. That driver, you can kill somebody. That forklift can come down and he can die. So it's super important to be safe about that. Some put a lock on the red line and you aren't going anywhere. Yeah, that's why some places lock you or take your key or whatever, because you're going to be for Hirschbach, you're going to drive away. I guess you can't put that on Hirschbach, because I'm sure if Hirschbach would say, do not drive out before you know you're unloaded. I'm sure it's policy there like everywhere. Aviator truckers, anyone benefiting from the hours of service? Yeah, I asked that earlier, and it turns out a lot of people are getting a good benefit from that. Mostly the 30-minute break, but I guess some people are using the split sleeper to get some good benefit. That's good. Louis is in process of relocating to Georgia. Any suggestions on a good truck company out that way, or what region should I say? Well, wherever you're going to go, that's where you're going to have to find a job. I'm sure around Atlanta, it would seem like there's jobs. And if I was going to stay local in Atlanta, I'd want to be paid by the hour to sit in all that traffic. Osbaldo, honestly, it's the best. I go home every day. Oh, that's not even bad then. So what is that? Is that hourly then for them? On a target home daily? That's pretty good at that place. You see, you may stay there. That's the thing. You go to Mega Carrier, get a dedicated run, you stay. They have a ton of benefits. Stan Dodge, I told the ladies of the Flying J about the Roller Wiener Monday. They said you should stop in. I bet they go, we already know all about that. I should stop in sometime. I go by there. Who told companies are hiring non-citizens, paying them less? Was told, oh, is this true? Yeah, companies have what's called an Eb3 Visa that they can get. And an Eb3 Visa is for, among other things, unskilled labor, which is drivers, unfortunately, under the visa program. And so you can, there's legal companies that help you do this, get people in from other countries under an Eb3 visa to come and drive here. Now, they have to pay a minimum amount. I don't know what that is. It's low, though. And most companies are paying that or more. But it's less than a driver in America might make. It's really funny that because all the expenses have to be paid by the company as well. So rather than giving drivers just raising pay, they'll fly somebody in from a number of countries, mostly in Africa, somewhere in Europe, come here, house them generally, and pay them. Why can't they just give the people that are here a raise to get drivers? Because there's got to be some kind of back-end tax deal on it that I don't know about under the Eb3 visa. But yeah, they can do that, and there's a minimum they have to pay them, but it isn't that much. Georgia Relocator, go to Tribe Express. All right. Tribe owned. Cassius King, I bet it says put a lock on this guy's red line. He would have dragged that trailer with the tire smoke. And he goes, wow, this thing is pulling terrible. I'm going to get this truck in the shop. He goes, at least I only have to pay 99 cents for fuel. I'm only getting 2 miles a gallon. 30-minute break allows for flexibility. People are going to like that the best. Then it'll allow people to get out of the fuel island more often. Used to see air supply lines locked by dock worker who would remove lock and bring you your bills. That's the way to do it, right? He goes, I'm all out of love, and here's your bills. They bring immigrants to the States just to drive a semi. That is true. It's an Eb3 visa, unskilled labor visa. Unskilled. That's considered, because there's several classes on there. One of them is unskilled. And what they have to do is show that they can't get Americans to do the job. So what they do is post ads, 30 cents a mile. And they go, well, we can't get anybody to come to work. Let's get somebody from, whatever country, Bosnia or wherever they come, South Africa. Let's get somebody to come and do it, and they do, rather than raising the pay. And all that does is keep everyone's pay low. When somebody's willing to work for less money, why should they give you a raise? So it's no good. It should end immediately, and trucking companies that do it shouldn't be allowed to. It's actually a huge company, a lot of blue trucks with yellow lettering, and correction, it was the log department that told me. Okay, they're wrong. They're totally wrong. I mean, the log department of all people should know that anything you do to the truck is logged on duty legally. And the log department should only give you a legal answer. So it's on duty time. Huge blue trucks with yellow lettering. I can't think of who it is, to be honest with you. I'm sure it'll come to me. Good afternoon, Mark and Trucking Answers fans. Wilbon, good afternoon. Thanks for the info. You're welcome. Tony Brewington is out there. I want to say hello. You were a Walgreens driver back in '88. All right. You routed my Walgreens stores for me. I was lost. We were at 118th and Avenue O store. All right. Love the channel, Oswald. I thank you very much. It's the best advice I ever have. Love everything you do. I appreciate that. And I think what you're doing over there is probably better than 90% of the drivers' deal that they have. Alexander likes going to the red light districts. Yeah, but they don't have to turn on the red light, really. Columbia George, I got here late. Did Mark say what company you drive for? No, not today. Aviator Trucker, there's a new Caravan heading towards the country. I thought Dodge quit making these years ago. They did. They just stopped making them, I think, last year. But, yeah, there's a new Caravan. We'll be seeing that. They'll give you $10 off a horsepower for that one, too. Columbia George did it for the first time. Let's see. USPS, the mail, Dave Johnson, used to make you lock out your emergency line, turning your keys and lock them, red light you. wait in the driver's area. Yeah, it seems like the post office would have some kind, being it's the government, would have 40 steps you have to do in some huge bureaucracy before they'll even consider taking off 2 rolled carts in 1 minute. I had 14 Walgreens that day delivering. Wow, that's crazy. 14 stops. I know Cash is King Trucking is like, how do I get 14 stops? I'm in. Well, who do I call? I've been driving for 3 years. I've never once split sleeper. But now, years ago, before the 3 years, in the before times, your split sleeper stopped the clock. Anytime you went in the sleeper, boom, clock stopped. That's how it used to be in the good old days, as some drivers call it. So then it wasn't, and now it is again. So that 2 or 3 hours, you can split and stop your 14-hour clock. That's the big dealio for it. For years, though, you couldn't. Now you can again. I just got my shipping papers. I'll be listening the rest of the show on the Blue Parrot. Thank you very much, Columbia, George. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Good afternoon, Tony. It's good to see you here today. The Eastern European outfitters do it, brings everybody down to that level. Brian Bush. Yeah, it's when you bring somebody in from somewhere else, or in this country, it really doesn't matter where they come from, and they're willing to work, say the rate's 50 cents, but you can get somebody to do it for half that, say a quarter. Okay, that doesn't encourage that company to pay you 52 cents. Okay, they can just get another driver at a quarter, so they can get 2 of you for what they're paying you. So anytime people work for less, that's why I always encourage people to not work for free employees, because when you'll sit there for nothing, it holds everybody's pay down. You're actually reducing your own pay. You're reducing your own chance to get a raise. It reduces pay for everyone around when you hold yourself to a low standard. Don't hold yourself to low standards. Raise yourself up, right? Good afternoon, Tony. The Eastern, let's see, where'd I go off to? I lost my spot. Okay, starts with W, rhymes and with burner. Starts with a W, rhymes with burner. I think I got it now. I didn't realize the letters were yellow. Did you hear about all the movie theaters that are closing? I'm surprised. Look, I'll tell you this. I'm surprised that company would say that. At a log department, generally a large place is going to be all about running legal. Did you hear about the movie theaters that are closing? I think it's Regal. Yes. Where we get popcorn for $13. I did. I looked it up, but there's no Regal theaters here in Lafayette. There are some in Indianapolis. If you have a Regal cinema theater near you, it's closing until at least next year. 28,000 people in the United States out of work. Dynamic Dueling. I think they are trucking company yellow letters or the blue box. Okay. Aviator trucker, right. You farted in your wallet, now you have gas money. Chima Freightliner out of Sumner, Washington. Kelly, I never heard of that place, right? Were you able to find it? Well, Bill used to deliver to the Milk Mail Center in Forest Park, Illinois, and it was terrible. Why? I thought mail, I've never done the mail. I thought mail is on carts or something with wheels. That's kind of the impression I get from ads, where that places have ads, like Eagle runs ads in Indianapolis, roll it on, roll off kind of thing. Maybe not. M.R. Conville, late to the party. What shenanigans have I missed? Many. Boeing's moving out of Seattle. Who next? Is Werner going to move out of Omaha? Wow, where's Boeing going to go? Are they going to fly the coop like that? It's the first and only demerit-free Monday. Yes, because I have to give them to myself otherwise. Always shenanigans free. I don't know what the problem is at the delivering wheeled carts. I delivered Isle Kroger. We used to have 25 to 30 stops years ago. I used to deliver for a place called, what was that? Service Warehouse. Service Delivery. I can't remember the name of that place. I would deliver to all these bread stores, like the Wonder Bread, Merita bread stores, and I would leave Indianapolis and go to Virginia Beach, and I would have 20 to 25 stops on the trailer, usually 1 pallet per stop. And I had a 53-foot trailer with a tuck under lift gate. So you'd unfold it, and then you'd lift gate 1 pallet out, usually at night, because you couldn't get in these little bitty places. And it would take till Wednesday, usually, to get the stops off. But you could go in all night. I had a bunch of keys to the stores. You just leave the stuff inside and leave them a copy of the bills, which was nice, and just bail out of the place. But you almost had to go starting in the evening after they closed, because you just can't get in the parking lot with a sleeper and a 53-foot with a lift gate on the back of it. So you're 2 in the morning delivering. So I used to do those stops, but I don't like doing stops now. Disney's also cutting 20,000 employees. That's not going to be the happiest place on earth for very long. Princess of Dixie Hill, the truck show at Lehigh Truck Center, just outside of Lexington, October 17th. Are they still going to do it? Last year there were a lot of trucks that came. I'll be wearing Trucking Ants t-shirt. I appreciate that. Yeah, are they still doing it? Because they canceled GATS, the Great American Truck Show. So I hope they still do it. Boeing is moving to North Carolina. Really? They make planes in Seattle. Mailbags are thrown into the trailer and the driver is expected to help. Really? Don't you get good money there? I thought they were in wheeled carts. That seems to be what the ads say about the mail service. Roger Moore is here. Boeing is to move to South Carolina. And Aston Martin also going to move production to South Carolina for Roger Moore. I saw Target with carts divided with totes on it. It seemed to be an easy way to make a delivery. Yeah, I don't know. That would be good. Wheeled cart, wheel it out. I had a manual pallet jack with me when I was delivering everything but the bread. We delivered cookies and Twinkies and all that stuff, everything that went in these small bread stores except the bread. And so you would just wheel that cart out, or one pallet out onto the lift gate, take yourself down to the ground and wheel it inside. So that wasn't too bad. I never got injured, but I was worried about it. I thought, if I get hurt here, I'm just going to die here probably. Because nobody's coming in till the morning. One reason, a non-union state, lower taxes. Oh, yeah, non-union. But the people can unionize there if they want to. So it's a non-union state, but that doesn't mean you can't unionize. Road trucks for post office use gaylords. Cardboard square open top on a plastic pallet. All right. Is that what they call them? Who thought of that idea? I bet there's a bunch of guys in a room going, let's call them gaylords. And they're all cracking up. They're like laughing and stuff. And then they do call them that. Does anyone use a toaster? Why is it called that anyway? Does anyone use a toaster oven in your truck instead of a microwave? I'm worried about melting the truck. I'm worried about popping a fuse. How many amps does a toaster oven pull? I mean, can't you heat up your Hot Pocket in a microwave? I was told by the owner that the trucks are coming on the Trump train. All right. I can imagine it there. Misty did my first liftgate delivery Saturday. Eats out of handed loading. Just saying, yeah, it'd be better. It was better. Glad I didn't have to handed load. Although once in a while a pallet would fall over or something because it was all different shaped boxes, and the people that loaded them didn't care. And apparently they were only rolled. They didn't have a machine, so they shrink wrapped it with just some dude or going around at one time. And so you'd open it and you're like, oh crap! So you'd have to hand cart all the stuff inside, which I had a hand cart with me also. Didn't like it as much as just one pallet inside. Sometimes you'd have to move the bread trucks out of the way. That was the only way in the store. So you'd open the big doors. All the bread trucks had the keys in them. Drive the truck out. Wheel stuff in and drive the truck. They must have wondered how that stuff got in there. I never heard anything about it, though. Do postal drivers wear blue shorts? FedEx wore purple shorts when it's 18 degrees out to show off their legs from all their walking. James, actually, Boeing already has a facility in South Carolina, and it's non-union, so they're going to get the scabs to do the work for less pay and less benefits. Yeah, and that doesn't help anybody. But they could unionize if they want to. Drivers just don't, and these workers don't also. Dunkin' Donuts also delivered the donuts on carts. They don't have time to make the donuts. I thought they made them in the store. There was a guy with a mustache that used to do it. By the way, you're in Teamsters Local 79, so you're getting paid for everything that you do. Gaylord was a paper manufacturer. Oh, then why did they name the things that? Boeing has special containers to ship on the train, 15 feet tall. Really? They arrive on the train when it enters the yard. No idea where it gets loaded. Do they put these containers on a chassis then and take them somewhere? Or do they stay on the train all the way to Boeing? Does it have its own railhead? There, it might have its own spur, right? There's a railroad word, spur. There's a town in Minnesota called Gaylord. Is that where Gaylord Paper got started? Steel Horse, I refuse to use the word Gaylord. I call them combos. That would be better. And it reminds me of chips whenever I hear about it. So, yeah, I didn't know they were called that. Maybe it's some person named Gaylord at some point started them in 1810 or something, and now it has become, a chuckle for people. YRC, how about yellow at 432? Who invested last week? Oh my gosh, they're the only ones that are basically up. 432 is yellow. And what happened to Roadrunner at 226? I thought this guy from Celadon was going to save this place. By now, I thought the stock would be $20. But now 226 at Roadrunner? Really? Wow, Bill, they stay on the train. They must have a spur wherever they're going then, right? And it must fit under whatever tunnels they have on the train because they have to, a clearance problem as well. Luke, I'm moving to a place with a Menards. Is that a good store? I've never heard of Menards. Yeah, you save big money there. There's a Menards here. They're gigantic. It's a home improvement store if you ever need to improve your house. Home Depot and all, same store. Same kind of store. Alexander, I heard something about stops. Yeah, you do a lot of them, right? I used to do that run with the many, 20 plus stops a week. That was about enough for me. And plus you'd have one pickup on the way back, which also counted. Paul, Home Depot was terrible with loading. They would gravity load. They would tie it with twine. You would get freight falling out when you open the door. Yeah, those are the loads where you have that sticker that says, beware of falling freight. So you kind of stand back, open the door, and run away and just let everything tumble out of the truck. I would do that too. I'd open the door and sometimes cookies or something would come flying down. You're like, cripes, cookies are going everywhere. Box might open up or something. You have to call them. Rather than just eating the cookies, you got to make a big phone call and big deal about it. I've seen a hazmat truck getting a ticket for not stopping at a railroad crossing where the tracks were separated before the crossing, but the state is too cheap to put up exempt signs. Yeah, I see these guys all the time doing this. I don't know why. It's always some tankers. Going down 41, there's several tracks out to Terre Haute. They just fly over the tracks. I rarely see hazmat trucks stop down there. I like the trailers that say, let's paint Menards. Most people in Europe don't learn to drive until middle age because it costs so much. And in Europe, there's no middle class. You're poor or rich. Well, I would pick the rich one if I had to choose that. So young people don't learn to drive there. I mean, I didn't even take driver's ed here. That's how easy it is here. I never even drove until my driving test. Never drove anything here in Indiana. Driver's ed was not required then, and I didn't drive. I only drove for the test. My dad drove me to the test. I drove the car because they make you drive it, and then he drove me home. That's it. And I passed a driving test without ever having driving a car. So that's how easy. It should be at least a little harder than that. Should be something. You can't do a PTI off duty. That's correct. Anything you do to the truck or on or about the truck, as they say, is on duty. If you're looking over the truck to see if it's safe, pre-trip, post-trip, doesn't matter. Anything you're doing like that for safety, that's all logged. I'm surprised a company, I would love to see that in writing. And by the way, if they gave that to you in writing, you should take a picture of it. Anything they say like that on a Qualcomm or whatever they use there, PeopleNet, take a picture of that. Have them text you and say, oh, really? Are you telling me to do stuff on the truck off duty? Is that what you're saying? And see how fast you get a new answer back in writing. Cash is King is exempt and going live during trucking answers. Yeah, we're going to do a live. I wish I could put it on here. I could have like a window of his live show on the corner of this live show. Because there's so many live shows over there. He counts them up. I don't count them. He's almost caught me, though. I think I'm at 130 or 140 in a row. He's in the 50s, I think, the last one I saw. So he's going to catch me here really soon. Not sure Cassius King knows that. Yeah, I'm sure. He doesn't even realize. It's just automatic now. It's like muscle memory where he just hits a button and goes live over there automatically. PAM 3850, they're down also. What is with all the articles that I'm reading that says, okay, trucking freight is up, load tendered is up, and yet stocks in trucking are down. U.S. Express, $8.75. Okay, they're down too. They were $10 like in the middle of September. Rates are up. Everything is showing up. And what's his face, just from the ATA of all people, Bob Costello, no relation, said, hey, the recession's over. He proclaimed it over. That everything is going to be fine, and he anticipates possible double-digit growth next year in trucking. So why are the stocks so low in trucking? Nobody's thinking like the companies are going to make any money, even though they should be making money right now. Aviator trucker, usually if you see a semi hitting traffic cones in a construction site, it's usually a new driver. Think he's still in the truck school. He still gets to hit the cones. I always see, every once in a while, you'll see just the bottom of where a barrel used to be. And the barrel is, I don't know where it went off to. I assume it damages your truck as well. Kids learn driving through Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, I had to learn driving on Pong, though, because we didn't have Grand Theft Auto yet. Look, if I can pass it without ever driving, the test isn't hard enough. The test should be complicated. Of course, when you're in a Plymouth Horizon, you could pretty much parallel park anything. When I was a kid, there was a department store named Gaylord's. Trucker Rob. I don't remember that. Maybe we never had one in the Hammond area. We had Venture and, those kind of things. JCPenney, all those minuses, Goldblatt's. I work for a company, and I tell every new driver, do not listen to any of the office people. They don't have a CDL. Caleb, the log department, there should be people with a license, but they ought to know the logs better than everybody. That's all they do all day is deal with logs. So when they say, oh, you don't have to do this, or it must be 7 hours for a split, it has to be an even hour, it can't be off hours, that's simply not true. And simply isn't true. And because people have a CDL, I guess that doesn't mean they necessarily know what they're doing. All the log people should have to go with the driver. Everybody in the office should have to go with the driver for the week. At least a week. Everybody in the office, top to bottom, goes with the driver. And a driver that's having problems. Not the brown-nosed driver that loves everybody and brings donuts every Tuesday. Some driver that has a lot of problems. Go with that driver and see what the problem is. And listen to see what they have to say. My biggest fear isn't heights or spiders, but everything my dad says to me. It's true. Yeah. There's a giant, really nice hotel in Nashville called the Gaylord Hotel. Really? So it's like in an independent hotel. I used to try to shoot the cones across the median. That's when we had a metal bumper. You could do that years ago. You can't do that now. These plastic trucks will disintegrate. Hit a cone, the truck could probably disintegrate. My steer tire was orange. You roll them over, but that's because the truck wasn't damaged then. Now your truck will turn into nothing. Cones over playing Miss Pac-Man. Yikes. A Dominican truck driver. Hey, Mark, what is your definition of a dedicated account? Well, to me, it's probably different than companies. I think a dedicated account is a dedicated run. You do the same thing every day, or you do the same thing every week. Because my run to Virginia Beach, I considered that a dedicated run. I did the same thing every week. A dedicated account is like we had a driver here. You work for a company like Swift, but you're on the Target account. So you'd work only for Target through another carrier. That's a dedicated account. I would rather work on a dedicated run where you do the same thing every day. I think it works out better. Personally, you know what your check's going to be. You don't have to worry about all these other things. You'll find most stock profiles not being reported, profits not being reported because it's usually parked against the back lot of the truck yard with no assigned driver. Yeah. I couldn't pass the test if you paid me, Christina. Oh, come on. Do they have any Gaylords at the manhole? I don't know about that. We're just there to sing and have a good time. Women are welcome. We just don't get that many men there, or that many women. Maybe they think that the 1099 company driver will affect the price and freight if Congress or the IRS says no more 1099 drivers. Oh, yeah, they're going to have to raise the price. But these companies are making a good profit. They're still showing profits, and they could pay people. They just don't want to. Usually, once companies get a certain size, they don't 1099 people. They start leasing them trucks. They end the 1099 company driver and lease them a truck because they're like, wow, they get to also lease them a truck. By the way, we can have, not only can we not pay their taxes, we'll have them buy our trucks. That's how it usually works. And then they're like, we'll pay them $1.05 a mile. Oh, great. And they're like, we'll never get anybody to sign up for that. Oh, sure we will. We'll get tons of people to sign up for it. We'll tell them they're run their own business. Christina's here at the end. It's good. You got to hit him with the trailer tires. You could bump them off with the trailer. Don't use your truck anymore to hit the cones. The Princess of Dixie Hill. I'm semi-retired from my day job. Good. Dedicated would be in and out of the same facility all week. Maybe. That's another way to do it. The same one place, the same 20 places. If it's the same places, then you know where to fuel, you know where to park, you know all that stuff. It makes your week a lot easier. Abcano boy. I was about to cut a KLLM, but I didn't. Did I screw up? No. You did the right thing. Sitting for free and then getting $12 an hour in that? No. I don't really recommend KLLM for people. After the third time I passed the general knowledge, passed the combination but failed air brakes. Oh, will they let you? Do you have to redo all of them? I'm thinking I want to get my CDL and go get some roller wainers. You can do both there. We'll let you get roller wieners, though, even just on a regular license. We can't just hold them for us. They're for everybody. They're for the world. It would be wrong of us to hold them like a polio vaccine. The key to getting people to fall for the lease purchase is the stickers, the same way I brought my 2-year-old. They do put a lot of stickers. Sometimes they'll sticker or your own color. Prime is big on that. Pick your truck color. They have these cherry colored trucks and all this, yellow. But for $1,300 a weekend, it's just not gonna. You're just not gonna make any money. George Wilson, I worked extra board for a fleet carrier, division of Leaseway. Oh, I don't remember them. I worked Handy Andy home improvement stores in the 90s. Was in Bellwood. Handy Andy. Next Roller Wiener Monday, I do a company reveal of some company. Schuster has a former DOT officer in safety, very helpful. So he knows what he's talking about. He's not like, oh, you log that off duty. Just everything's off duty. That's not great. We'll see if I would be a better choice. Certainly no driver camera unless you mess up, from what people tell me also. So that's also nice. Christina's just what you fail. Good. So you got most of it done. Study the air brakes. And when can you take it? 24 hours? That's how it is here. You have to wait a day. Does Ohio still close lanes on I-80 with a 50-mile speed limit for 5 miles every 3 miles? That's Indiana, too. I-70 has got tons of it closed, and it speed limit drops, and there's nobody around. Especially at night, there's nobody around sometimes through the whole thing. Didn't see nothing saying you was going to go live. I'm sorry. It is on. I'm on live every week at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Apparently. Once you pass the test, you go to the next one. All right. Well, so you can just take the next one the next day. Last time in Ohio, they raised them to 60. Here, some of them here will go down to 45, which is crazy. We have the Gaylord's Palmer and Resort in Kissimmee, Florida. It's massive. All right. I wonder if it's by the same people that run the paper company. Because you get paper out of, not far from there. Kana boy, you seem very knowledgeable. I appreciate your input. Thank you very much for that. I do try to do what I can. And look, it's not me. It's all the people on here that have worked at these companies and that. I'm just like the vessel that brings the people together. The Uber of people, basically. Bringing people together. Let's see. The other one was U.S. Express, $8.75. Like, they're down also. They were $10.14 a couple of weeks ago. Other than Yellow, Yellow's going up now because they said Amazon anticipates 75 hard days before Christmas of packages going out, even worse than it has been. 75 days. Can you believe that? All these LTL, all these other carriers are going to be all over the place trying to get this stuff. Kyle, didn't see a Sunday rant this week. Was starting to wonder. Yeah, not every week. They go out some weeks. I actually did one this week, and it was corrupted. The file corrupted, so it didn't come out. So that's why that didn't get out this Sunday. Sometimes it's just corrupted. There's nothing you can do about it. What? Your file was corrupted. Yes, file was corrupted. Sometimes it gets corrupted. There's not much you can do about it. Even the cats were surprised about that. So they denied that. Okay, Volkswagen. Everybody's updated their ELD. And I think people are going to find the 30-minute break good as I head out to make my company some money. Unfortunately, for them, probably. Oh, don't forget, if you're on a Cascadia, 17 to 21, if you're a company driver, tell your company. Right? And if you own one, then call Freightliner. They said that they'll send the notices out in a few weeks to get these brake lights fixed. Watch your brake lights. They might be staying on. The Gaylord Hotel only has a rear entrance, just like the manhole. Right, everybody comes in the rear there. That's what it says. Right in the front. So that's pretty convenient. So no problems. Women also welcome. And just don't get any women in there, really. I wanted to see this here. Let's see. Oh, right. I'll forget about Jay. But don't forget about Jay. Let's go see Jay. And, of course, Great Plains Transport. Look, they fill your wallet and your belly, which I think is what they should put on their trucks, but they didn't ask me. So I think that's pretty good. GP Transco was here today also. Join the Teal Revolution at GP Transco. And, of course, if you wear it, let's see, where's that? Make it a parrot, naturally. So there's that. There's that, yeah. Fill your wallet and your belly at Great Plains. That doesn't rhyme. We need something that rhymes, really. Yeah, Christina, look, just study the brake test one now. You got them down to one, and you got it. You're going to be in a truck before you know it. Won't that be great? Right, then you'll be a regular driver. You can walk around in flip-flops with pride. And let your one toenail grow really, really long so it clicks on the ground. It's all yellow, clicking on the ground. Well, Bill, when my license expired, I had to take all 5 truck tests, the motorcycle test and the car test, plus the sign test. Really? People were taking the car test the entire time? Really? I've never let it expire. I think those stay here. I guess because your total license expired. Because otherwise the other stuff stays on there, at least here in Indiana. Do you and your bandmates in the Village People cover band enter through the rear? Oh, of course. I mean, that's the only way to get in. Buy now and sell later. On some of these, well, I mean, if we'd have all bought this stuff in April, none of us would probably be here. We'd all be in the Bahamas doing the show from down there. Because some of these were, look, yellow was like $1. At $4.32, I mean, like crazy. You made 300% in a few months. That's crazy. Roger Moore has been driving for GP for 2 months. GP Transco. Switched from Pride because they wouldn't let you have a cat. See, why not? Why won't they let you have a cat? Will they let you have a dog? I mean, I don't know why they won't. You'd rather have a cat because you don't have to walk the cat around some customer property, which I've seen people doing. They must love that. But, yeah, so what do you think? It's probably a little better place anyway. Pride, I don't get really any complaints from people from Pride, but I think you're probably treated a little better at GP Transco, more like an experienced driver. When a company doesn't take students, I think you're treated a little differently, unless the company has a mindset of, we help students, and then as they become knowledgeable and professional drivers, then we just kind of let them go. But a lot of companies, especially mega carriers, treat everybody like they started driving last week because that's mostly who's there, and so people end up leaving. Oh, my father passed away and I forgot and waited till the last minute to renew. Okay, yeah, and so you had to take like 50 million tests? Yikes. Oh, what town is the manhole in? Yeah, they have different, they're around the country. They're around the country. There's probably one near you. Hopefully I have my permit tomorrow. I guess I'm going to Ivy Tech School in Muncie. Really? I thought you were down south somewhere. Don't I remember you being further south than that? So in case anybody needs it. Yeah, let's get that out there. I actually have a card for that. How about this? Right. In case you need this number, write it down. You know somebody that needs it, give it to them. You know somebody that needs it and they won't call, you call it and say, what do I do? Okay, this is because that's never a solution. You can always go on there. They take calls 24 hours a day, 24/7, no charge. So if that's a number that you need, use it. If you know somebody that might use it, call it, and they'll tell you what to do. Today we had, let's see, Eddie was first today, so I have to go out and make my company some money. And I do. Look, I appreciate everybody hanging out here as I was a little late today. I apologize. Steel Horse was here. Thank you for that. And that information, right? That is good. Stan Dodge was here today. Hello. Osbaldo. I love it. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I don't mean to do that. Believe me. Louis was here. Aviator Trucker Hershey was here. Thank you for coming in. Paul Harris. Gear Jammer. I love it. The Morning Show. 93, the Hot 93. Kizzy and Chicken George on the Morning Show was here. Robert Dittmar was here. Lost and Found. Chris Keller. Yikes. Everybody was here today. So that's good. George Wilson. Thank you for coming in. Kangaroo Trucker. Wow, Bill. Cassius King Trucking, who's live now, I'm sure. Kenny Ling, hello there. Hog Rider, Home Over the Road. I love it. I love it. Let's see, where am I going off to? Columbia George was here today. Let's see, where am I? Mergel Barrett, which I thought was Star Trek, but is not. Mother Trucker, thank you for coming in. I have to head out to my place before they gripe at me too much as it is. Kelly was here. Christina, just get the one more test and you got it. Misty, thank you for coming in today. So I'm going to head over to my place. Alexandra, be safe today. I know you will be because you are defending yourself in there, believe me. So that's good. And let's see, Irishman. Let's see. So go to this and we put that over there. Thank you for coming in today and for staying, and I appreciate it. Believe me. Be safe out there, of course, and stay warm. It was cold last night. Yikes, frost warning? Holy mackerel. Otherwise, more videos this week, and we will see you soon.